For example, if our country is going through an inflation period, it's quite obvious that if our country is going through the inflation period, it means the prices in our country are higher in comparison to the international market, and as a result, the exports of our country will be very expensive. In that case, the imports of our country will be more in comparison to the exports, and result is adverse balance of payment. Next is the developmental expenditure. Sometimes it happens with the developing countries of the world that their developmental expenditure increases to such an extent that the country needs to borrow from other countries, from foreign institutions, from the governments of the other countries. As a result, the amount of foreign exchange in our custody decreases because we need to make payments after some time. As a result, deficit balance of payment will be there. Next is decrease in supply. Sometimes there is a possibility that our country may be facing a problem of any natural calamity, or the producers are not in a position to produce the commodities. But this thing generally comes only in the case of agricultural products. And whenever this thing occurs, automatically the exports of agricultural products goes down and imports increases. The result will be the adverse balance of payment. Next is the appreciation in the exchange rate. If there is an appreciation in the exchange rate, then automatically the value of our currency increases in the market. As it increases in the market, the price of our exportable items, the price of our exportable items will go up, and the price of imported items will come down. As a result, adverse balance of payment will be there. Next, we have demonstration effects. Demonstration effect is a very interesting thing. Sometimes what happens that the people, generally happens with the people of the developing country. In the developing country, what happens if the people, they come across the products of the various countries which are good in quality and less in price. And these people in the developing country, they try to show off, they try to follow the trends which are set by the people of the developed countries, and they try to purchase only those articles which are used by the people of developed countries. And as a result, the demand for the imported items increases in the economy in comparison to the export of our country. As a result, adverse balance of payment. Next, we have the population pressure. Sometimes why sometimes? It is always most of the time. Most of the time, the population pressure plays a very important role in the adverse balance of payment. More the population, more will be the demand. More will be the aggregate demand in the economy, and that aggregate demand, increase in aggregate demand, if it is not cope up with the aggregate supply, then the country has to be dependent only on the imported articles from the other countries. And if we have more population, it means the country is not in a position to export enough amount of the commodities to the outer world. As a result, there will be an adverse balance of payment. Means in this case, our payments will be more than the receipts. Next is the political factors. The political factors are also responsible for the unfavorable balance of payments, because if the political condition, if the condition is not peaceful in the country, then the export will be negligible in comparison to the imported items. Because if the peaceful condition will not be there, producers won't be in a position to produce the commodities, but the demand will be there. And as the demand will be there, the country has to be dependent only on the imported items from the other countries. And second, sometimes the political factors, like sometimes some of the countries, they also impose some monetary restrictions on the countries, and as a result, the export of the country decreases in comparison to the imports. After looking into the reasons responsible for the unfavorable balance of payment or for the disequilibrium in the balance of payment, let's look into the ways that how we can correct the disequilibrium in the balance of payment. Depreciation and devaluation are almost the same things. Whether depreciation or devaluation, in both the cases, the value of our currency falls in the international market. But one thing over here, the depreciation is done. Depreciation occurs only under the flexible exchange rate system, whereas the devaluation occurs in the fixed exchange rate system. One more thing is there, we can say that depreciation occurs automatically in the international market, whereas the devaluation is done intentionally by the government. In both the cases, the products of our country becomes expensive in the international market. And as the products become expensive in the international market, the export goes down in comparison to import. Second thing we have is the import control. Import control can play a very important role in the correction of disequilibrium in the balance of payment with the two tools, that is tariffs and the quotas. In the case of quotas, the government fixes a limit, fixes a specific limit for the import of articles from other countries. Whereas on the other side, tariffs are basically, in simple words, we can say that these are the taxes which are imposed by the government on the import and export articles. And try to correct the disequilibrium in the balance of payment, the government always tries to impose more tariffs on the imported items in comparison to the export articles. Next thing we have, which is very important, that is export promotion. Export promotion is the way by which the government encourages the exporters to produce the articles which can be easily exported and which can earn huge amount of money and can help in correcting the disequilibrium in the balance of payment. First is the reduction of export duties. Government reduces the percentage of export duties on the articles which are highly beneficial for correcting the balance of payment. Next, the cash assistance and subsidies. The government can provide financial help and can give subsidies to the exporters for producing certain commodities. Third thing, the government also provides certain facilities for the raw material for the regular supply of electricity to encourage the exporters to remain in the field of export manufacturing articles. Next is the exemption of taxes. In this case, the government can give some tax holidays to the exporters. They can be given some exemption from some of the taxes. More subsidies can be given. In this case, so that the producers feel encouraged to produce the export articles. Last is the encourage tourism. In this case, the government can increase for attracting the tourists from outside the country. The government can provide some subsidies, some concession to the people, those who want to visit our country, so that the incoming of the foreign exchange can be increased. It can be increased. And the next thing which comes over here is the production of import substitutes. In this case, the government can encourage the producers to make exactly similar articles which are imported from the outside the country with the help of the resources which are available within the country, but with the good quality and less cost of production in comparison to the imported articles. Next is the monetary policy. The government can adopt a very strict monetary policy. In this case, the government must try to reduce the public expenditure, and the government can try to adopt a very strict policy related to the revenue by increasing the taxes on the people and by reducing the unproductive expenditure by the government. Next is the fiscal policy. In this case, the government can go for the restrictive fiscal policy. In this, the government must try to reduce the public expenditure, not whole of the public expenditure, but at least the unproductive public expenditure can be reduced by the government. On the other side, the government can impose more taxes under the revenue for the people, and more taxes means more saving. More saving leads to less consumption power of the people, indirectly the less disposable income in the hands of the people. Lesser the consumption, lesser will be the demand, and lesser will be the demand, then more can be easily exported to the other countries. Next is the capital import. The government can go for this thing also. The government can raise short-term loans from the individuals and governments of other countries, as well as by borrowing from international financial institutions like IMF, World Bank, etc. for short duration, not for the longer duration, and those loans must be returned by the government by exporting more and more articles to the other countries of the world. Thank you.